Yelp announced on Tuesday that it will cover the expenses for their employees or their spouses who have to travel out of state for access to an abortion.
The online search and review platform joins a growing list, actually, of major companies that will provide these services for its employees. And it comes on the heels of Oklahoma's new bill that effectively bans abortion within the state. New York Times gender reporter Alisha Haridasani Gupta and New York Times business reporter Lauren Hirsch both join us now. Good morning to you guys. Thank you so much for being with us. So, Alisha, we'll start with you. And first, just expand on this for us. Walk us through exactly what it is Yelp is saying they will provide to their employees.
Thank you for having me. So Yelp is going to be paying for employees to travel out of state if they need to get an abortion. And this, they said, will be handled through their health insurance. And they mentioned that this is sort of a normal process. Health insurance do cover procedures out of state already. So this is just sort of an expansion of that health benefit to include abortion. It is also interesting that their wording was current and future. So this is going to apply not only to employees in Texas, but also in states where there are current and future potential restrictions to abortion access.
Lauren, it's not just Yelp. We know other companies like Bumble, Citigroup, and Uber have also stepped forward to support their staff. What's the message these companies are trying to send? And is there a feeling that this could become more of a trend going forward in corporate America?
It's really interesting. You know, Yelp was very forthright about their message. They spoke to us and spoke to their employees. Citi disclosed the news in a securities filing and didn't issue a press release. So I think the way that companies are messaging it is really depends on the kind of company and the industry they're in. You know, Yelp is in an industry, you know, tech tends to be in general a little bit more liberal, can be more employee focused, hearing more employee voices. So they're being more open about that and really telling employees, you know, we value this. Citi and banking is a much more conservative industry and is not necessarily going to want to put itself into the front lines. I do think we'll see more companies forward and make statements, but I also think we'll see them fall along the same spectrum of being very cognizant of their employee base and their customer base, because they're not always, depending on who they are, they're not always going to react to this news similarly.
And now, Alisha, do we expect there to be any kind of legal response from states such as Texas and Oklahoma, where abortions have basically been made illegal and these companies are laying out these pathways?
There is always the potential for legal action in these states. And I think there is, I don't know specifically about what people are going to be doing in response to the corporate reaction. I think there was one legislator in Texas that was threatening to take action against Citigroup. But I think what legislators in these states are also doing is that they're focusing on other methods of accessing abortion, like the pill. You know, so they're cracking down on that because they also know that that's an option for women who are in those states.
And Lauren, you point out in the piece that the companies where employees earn higher wages seem to be the most vocal in opposing these legal restrictions to abortions. But one of the biggest worries is people in lower paying jobs, that they're the ones who are going to get hurt most by this. Any ideas what can be done to help people in lower paying jobs?
So that's, you know, the most important thing with this policy. Who will impact those are those in the lower paying jobs, because those are those who cannot afford to get access to abortion to travel out of state. And so going back to kind of the industries that we're in, it's, you know, companies are going to have to be very cognizant of whether or not their employees will be impacted by it, and whether or not they feel comfortable taking a stance, and how they frankly balance that against what many argue is an economic need to take a stance. But there's, you know, it's a very thorny subject.
All right. Alisha Haridasani Gupta and Lauren Hirsch, thanks so much for joining us this morning and for your reporting. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.